Evil Under the Dirt, the truth about Diddy's secret tunnels. 2024 is the year that P Diddy's reckless, abusive, and downright evil proclivities finally caught up with him. After decades of manipulation, abuse, and worse, his long-awaited downfall is playing out right in front of our eyes. New victims are still coming forward months later, and more of Diddy's criminal empire is being revealed by the day as he sits in jail awaiting trial. During this time, one alleged facet of his criminal empire has spread like wildfire across social media. The idea that secret tunnels have been discovered beneath Diddy's various mansions across the country. How did they get there? Where do they lead? Do they even really exist? Rest assured, we're going to answer all of those questions in this video, but that's not all we have for you today. Another rumor suggests that Diddy might be connected to another high-profile event in recent days. Did his penchant for illegal activities almost single-handedly halt the country's flow of business? Or is it just another very believable rumor? Let's find out. Welcome back. You're watching Conspiracy Vibes. And this is the truth about Diddy's secret tunnels. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We've really put all our energy into reviving our account and creating long-form videos that still capture the wild, weird, and downright creepy parts of the conspiracy world, and we'd love your support to continue doing so. Now, where did this conspiracy theory start? On September 26, 2024, an ex-user called Shadow of Ezra posted this message that states there are underwater tunnels carved under Diddy's home that lead to a mysterious cave or grotto, where all kinds of illicit acts and illegal dealings would take place, and allegedly even lead to the Playboy Mansion. Some quick sleuthing on Google Maps shows that the two locations are fairly close to each other. They're even on the same street. Shadow of Ezra user didn't actually link to any sources, but our best guess based on the timing of the post would be that he was referencing this image that has been making its way across Instagram since the Homeland Security raids of Diddy's properties in late March of this year. For any other celebrity, the resurfacing of a story like this would be major news. But for Diddy, it was Tuesday.
But for me, it was Tuesday.
Well, it was actually a Thursday, but you get it. By this point in the music mogul's downfall, you would think that it would be pretty difficult to shock or upset people with revelations like these. The 1,000 bottles of baby oil probably should have been the straw that broke the camel's back. However, every new allegation and discovery stacks up like the number of lives he has ruined, and each one reignites the internet's interest in the ever-expanding saga.
New wave of lawsuits that are filed against Sean Diddy Combs. For the first time, the 54-year-old music mogul is being sued by a person alleging he was abused by Combs as a minor.
It's a growing legal battle for Sean Diddy Combs, who now faces 6 new civil suits alleging sexual assault, rape, and sexual abuse. The suits were filed anonymously by 4 men and 2 women in a Manhattan court Monday. The accusations include incidents ranging from 1995 to 2021, taking place at locations like a department store stockroom, hotel, and an event space bathroom. Some involve Combs and his, quote, agents and employees using this container to insert drugs into alcoholic drinks at parties. One complaint describes an alleged incident between a then 16-year-old and the music mogul at one of his infamous white parties in the Hamptons back in 1998. The suit claims shortly after the two met, Combs abruptly told him to drop his pants as a way to prove himself, then molested him.
And each one reignites the internet's interest in the ever-expanding saga. Obviously, the secret tunnels are no different. The Diddy secret tunnel story gripped content creators and their audiences across the internet, with TikTok in particular exploding with thousands of viral theories, hot takes, and even additional information in some cases.
They found like underground tunnel in his house. I don't know if that's true, but I saw it on Twitter and I just read headlines like the rest of you. Yeah. So I don't know shit, neither do you. But I heard that there's like tunnels under his house.
What if it was like 3 miles of tunnels under his house?
El Chapo?
That's what I'm saying. What if it was, and it led to like a bunker that had like 2 getaway cars, and like it could pull out?
Are we gonna find out that Diddy is one of the weird, creepiest people of all time?
I'm not gonna lie. When he showed up to a party via helicopter and left via boat,
that's kind of fire.
That's super fire.
That's James Bond.
He showed up in a helicopter and left on a boat. I said, he's doing things he shouldn't. Absolute. There's no way in hell that he's living an honest and a lawful life.
The FBI found a tunnel this morning at the mansion of famous rapper Diddy in Los Angeles. Part 2, after receiving an anonymous tip from neighbors' agents rushed to the scene during their search. They uncovered a tunnel beneath the carpet in Diddy's bedroom, despite the family's pleas not to enter. The officers hesitated, but ultimately decided to go. In the tunnel looked freshly dug with wet dirt on the walls and trash scattered around. As they ventured deeper, the narrow space suddenly opened up to reveal 6 locked rooms. The agents couldn't access these rooms, and even more bizarrely, they found multiple intersections ahead. In the tunnel for safety, the agents called for backup and split up to investigate further. What they discovered was shocking: a tunnel connecting to the infamous Playboy Mansion, along with others leading to several Hollywood celebrities' homes.
What do you mean Diddy had a tunnel from his house to Michael Jackson's house? What do you mean that Michael Jackson was scared of Diddy, scared for his life? What do you mean? What do you mean 50 Cent is throwing a going away party for Diddy? By the way, 50 Cent is one of the worst enemies you can have. Because if you are an enemy of 50 Cent, you're probably a bad person.
The usual mix of low-effort, AI-generated view farming content and more plausible analysis is present on the subject. But we came across a number of interesting data points that we chose to give a closer look for this video. For instance, while mainstream media has denied and debunked the existence of the tunnels and the validity of the doctored CNN image from March, there is some evidence to support their existence. TikToks like this one show snapshots of schematics and construction sites of tunnels that were in fact designed to connect the homes of various celebrities to a single location, a place of renowned debauchery and rampant sexual escapades going back decades. Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion. Dating back to the late 70s or early 80s, these images show the tunnels terminating at the homes of Mr. J. Nicholson, Mr. W. Beatty, Mr. K. Douglas, and Mr. J. Khan. The abbreviations do little to obfuscate the true identities of the parties involved, so we can assume that the tunnels belong to several high-profile actors of the time who also happen to be relative Hollywood royalty: Jack Nicholson, Kirk Douglas, James Caan, and Warren Beatty. We were able to dig up several articles that reference these same images going back as far as 2015, long before any of Diddy's crimes floated to the surface. And the actual source of the images is from a Playboy.com article created in the same year. Talk about a self-report. Hugh himself denied the rumors, and the original article has been pulled from the Playboy website. Shocker. However, articles from relatively believable publications like People and Vanity Fair are still available, and not even Hugh Hefner can hide from the Wayback Machine. Curiously, the Holmby Hills plot that Diddy built his $40 million mansion on is speculated to be the very same one that belonged to Jack Nicholson all those decades ago, making the idea that there is a tunnel system under the abode less of a speculative leap. The Playboy article states that a staff member mentioned the tunnels were closed up sometime in 1989. But were they really? We'll obviously never know. But one thing we do know is that Diddy's South Mapleton Drive home does have an underwater tunnel. It leads from the home's pool to a separate grotto area, just like Shadow of Ezra stated, and the LA Times mentioned it in an article from 2014. That article obviously doesn't say if it also connects to the Playboy Mansion or if it was used for any kind of nefarious purposes, but that wasn't really the vibe of the article to begin with. Taking things further, some users on X and Reddit have claimed that the tunnels connecting the celebrity houses could have been an elaborate April Fool's Day prank, since it was posted on March 31st. We're not really inclined to believe that here at Conspiracy Vibes, but we think it's important to present the audience with all of our findings. Could this story be another overblown conspiracy theory? Perhaps, but when you're a James Bond-style villain like P. Diddy, you don't just have one evil lair with a dirty secret. For the next theory, we're jumping over to Diddy's Miami, Florida mansion located on the infamous Star Island, surrounded by neighbors like Shaq, Will Smith, Rick Ross, and dozens of other wealthy power players. You might think that Diddy's secondary home community is as glitzy and glamorous as it gets, and for the most part, it is. Until you notice the view. Diddy's Miami residence is located at 2 West Star Island, the southernmost corner of the floating pill-shaped community. So, if you were to stand in his backyard and look out from the island, you would see what most people, especially those sitting on millions or billions of dollars, would call an eyesore. Dodge Island, a combination of ports and cruise ship terminals. Those aspects of the island are bad enough, but the worst part, and what this TikTok speculates to be the true reason Diddy even owns that house in the first place. Containers a stone's throw away from his backyard. We came across dozens of other TikToks that follow the same line of thinking. Now, why exactly would Diddy pay $48.5 million for a house with this view, $18.8 million of which was paid off just before he was arrested in September? Taking a look at his charges, it's not difficult to put two and two together. Racketeering and sex trafficking are pretty easy to pull off when you have more than 71 acres worth of shipping containers roughly 100 meters away from the back door of your home. And judging from what we found on TikTok, we aren't the only ones who made that connection. In fact, some creators took it a step further.
We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone.
Today, in world news, they're saying that now the scenery shut down at the ports from the port strike and the ILA port strike, that you can hear the children's and the adults banging on the inside of the containers, screaming for help. Now, they're also saying that some of the workers are actually striking because they're tired of hearing the voices inside of the containers as they come to the ports. So I don't know what's going on, but I knew that something was going on, and P Diddy himself may have something to do with all these peoples in these containers.
So now, allegedly, Diddy is also related to the children in the shipping container situation. And what's crazy about that is somebody made a TikTok connecting the dots here, saying, like, what are the odds that not only is Diddy being accused of having this kind of connection to the shipping containers things and like the whole kids being in them and stuff, he lives super close to an area that has these shipping containers.
Given everything else that has come out so far, could it be true that Diddy is also connected to the stories of people and children who can be heard crying out for help from within the darkness of shipping containers all over the world? Did the recent upheaval of the dock workers and longshoremen have anything to do with the alleged pained screams and pleas for a savior that they would have had to suffer through every single day while being unable to help? It wouldn't be wise to write anything off right away, especially since it's been clear for a long time that what we're seeing unfold is much, much bigger than just Diddy.
So the dock workers are striking, and now all of that is tying in with P Diddy. So basically, here's what I've come to understand. P Diddy's Miami house is about 700 yards from where the docks are. And the dock workers that are striking have been hearing screams coming from the shipping containers. So here's my thought on this. It could not be more obvious that that was connected. Because if P Diddy is like the puppet master, right? Either he or his people, I'm assuming his people, are going to be the first ones on that shipyard. So if both P Diddy himself and the people that he's puppeteering are not there to be first at the dock, to be the first ones to get those shipping containers out, there are going to be more signs. If something nefarious is happening, people are going to know because nobody is there to like do their usual business. And this shit is just running so incredibly deep. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little like freaked out. Because it's so easy to forget that, like, these are real people. These are real kids. There's 100 people who are filing against P. Diddy. 25 of the people were minors as young as 9 years old. Like, this ain't right.
We also have another major issue going on in our ports right now, and I just wanted to speak on it. Because I don't think a lot of people understand why they're striking. One of the major reasons I've been seeing coming out of videos and reports from people talking about it is that they get tired of hearing children screaming inside the containers. Yeah, you heard that right. The workers are striking, and one of the main reasons is they're tired of hearing humans being shipped over and screaming and banging on the inside of the shipping containers to get out. I understand we have a serious human trafficking issue in this country. I just did not think it was this bad.
The horrible stories that have been told for years and years by people like Allie Carter, Tupac's daughter, are beginning to make more sense all the time. Tales of underground facilities, tunnels, and warehouses where the wealthy elite would do terrible things to those who were there against their will, or were being manipulated into being there with the promise of fame and success. Men, women, children. No one is safe from this alleged conclave of evil.
There's cities underground, there's warehouses underground, there's actual homes underground. People build these tunnels, and they've built them for decades. There's a lot, and elite celebrities, they go down there for parties.
There are underground tunnels that are under the schools, elementary, junior, and high schools all over the place. They lead to amusement parks, they lead to hospitals, cemeteries, schools, celebrity homes. They lead everywhere.
In one video, Allie identifies the Getty Museum in Los Angeles as one of the locations of this Hollywood underground.
Underneath the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, California. I was there for a cock party. We walked through the museum, through the garden area, and employees led us to underground tunnels.
Now take a wild guess which places are located in an almost straight tunnel-like path to the museum. If you guessed the Playboy Mansion and Diddy's current LA home, congratulations.
The Playboy Mansion. The Playboy Mansions. I met some really elite people when I was there. I had to do jobs with some elite celebrities.
After we had this revelation, we initially assumed that the underground tunnels and facilities could only apply to the Los Angeles locations. Surely similar underground structures couldn't exist in Florida. The water table is too close to the surface in that part of the world. You'd hit water before you dug deep enough to make tunnels possible, and in all likelihood, you'd get there much sooner than that in a place like Star Island. But like so many of our investigations, things are never that quite cut and dry. While there are obviously no official plans or documents regarding tunnels to, from, or within Star Island, there is a tunnel very close by that shows there's precedent for similar structures in the area. The Port of Miami Tunnel. Completed in August 2014, this undersea tunnel serves as a safe route for more than 15,000 vehicles on a typical weekday, connecting Port Miami with the MacArthur Causeway and allowing travelers to bypass the craziness of downtown Miami. This particular tunnel does resurface on Dodge Island, but as you can see from the construction footage, it was a pretty big deal. It would be a majestic feat of architectural ingenuity to not only build secret tunnels from Dodge Island to Star Island, but also keep it out of the view of the general public. But let's play devil's advocate anyway. What if the construction of these hypothetical secret tunnels didn't begin in open view of the general public in an easily monitored place like Dodge Island? What if construction began from within a heavily guarded, gated community full of rich and powerful people who could directly benefit from their existence? Now we're talking. You obviously won't find any evidence of these tunnels if you go looking for them. If they do exist, those plans would be either destroyed or kept where nobody could accidentally reveal them to the world. But as we've seen in recent months, everything comes out eventually. If you know anything, or have found anything online with images or further information, please email us so we can further our investigative stories around this. Until next time, take care of yourself and listen for their screams. See you in the next one.